A very good evening, everyone, and it's fantastic to see so many of you, so many youngsters, parents, teachers, professors all across the country under this one platform, wanting to know more about social media. Well, before we begin this webinar, we begin by taking blessings from our Lord as we begin this webinar, asking Him for the grace that we are able to use this webinar fruitfully in order to be transformed into individuals who will go out and teach people how to use social media for the benefit of the other. The Digital Jesuits, a part of the JCSA, along with XIE and the Indian School of Media, welcome you all once again. We talk about globalization, and globalization has made our world very small. It's a tool. The tool that came out of globalization is the World Wide Web. And from the World Wide Web, we received the social media. It has made the world more smaller, fair enough, but it has turned things to be really scary for us. We all want our own privacy. We yearn for that. Parents are afraid for their children getting addicted to social media. There is fear or ignorance of posting something that isn't defined as ethical and can hit back on you. And at the end of the day, we really do not know how much use of social media is good and how do I use it in a very prudent manner. And today, we have for you a very special person and the right person for the job. She is none other than Mrs. Natasha Arana. We are grateful to her for her support and for her acceptance of the request that we put in front of her to take this particular webinar. If I would want to introduce Mrs. Natasha, she is the founder and director at the Indian School of Media, Mumbai. Having worked for more than 15 years in the media and entertainment industry, She's a force to reckon with in the media education sector. With a diversified portfolio and a strong base across operations and management, she has won a multitude of awards, and not only national, international ones too. And she has given her services to India's educational sector and skill development. She's invited most of the times as a jury member and a guest lecturer to inspire the next generation of media professionals and entrepreneurs at various institutes and platforms across the globe. Having had an in-depth exposure to the entire gamut of media platforms ranging from web, radio, television, films, and events, she has effectively contributed to the growth of thousands of students by identifying and honing their key strengths. So we are grateful to have her. We also have in our midst the director of XIE, Father John Rose, who will be speaking to us at the end of this event. So over to you, Mrs. Natasha.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you, Brother Joshua, for the lovely introduction. Okay, since I've already been introduced, I don't think we should waste any more time with another round of introduction. So let's dive in. Let's talk about today's topic, social media and me. So social media and me. Me. Who? Me, I, you, us, we. Who's this me that we're talking about? It is me, it is you, it's us, it's all of us, the youth of the country, the backbone of the country, the future leaders of tomorrow. All of us who have access to the internet and are very active on social media. That is 50% of the country's population. I don't know if you all know, but over 600 million is the strength of the youth of our country. And together we can do so much with the World Wide Web. Okay. So in terms of ranking of countries in the world by the number of mobile phones in use, India stands second, which means if you look to your right, the number there is crazy. 1515971713. That's a lot. That is a number. In fact, that's more than the population of our country, which certainly means a lot of people have multiple phones. And of course, there are a lot of them who don't use phones, but a lot of us do. Why are we talking about this number? We're talking about this number because most people access the internet on their phones. And fun fact, 77% of people who own phones own smartphones. And with smartphones, they also have internet access. Okay, before we move to the next slide, since like Brother Joshua already told you all, I'm an educationist and I teach at a lot of B schools, a lot of colleges. And as the head of the Indian School of Media family, I also spend a lot of time with my postgraduate and diploma students. In short, I spend a lot of time with a lot of students who are in the age group of 18 to 24, which is the most active demography on social media. So today, it's going to be easier for us to connect since most of you are from that age group. And together we will understand how social media has influenced us, our lives, how social media is influencing our lives, and how social media will continue to influence our life. Almost 2 in 3 Indians who have smartphones are on some kind of social media site. And I hope you remember the number, which means again, a lot of people have access to the internet. And like I told you, 97% of internet users have access to internet on their mobile. Gone are those days when we would access Facebook, Instagram, Orkut, if you all remember, through our laptops, through our desktops. Now it's so convenient. We have our handheld devices. Everything is just one click away. So all internet users, most of them, 97% of them use internet on their mobiles. Okay. Number of social network users in India from 2015 with the forecast until 2023. So now a lot of you may be thinking, India is a developing country. Okay, a lot of people have phones. Okay, a lot of them have internet access. But how many of them actually have internet access in our phones? People don't even have, it's a developing country. It's not a developed country. People strive really hard to earn bread and butter for their families. They don't really have access to 3 decent meals a day. So is it actually possible to have for so many people, especially people in the age group for 17 to 24, who predominantly rely on their parents for their expenses, to have smartphones? If those are the questions in your head, please have a look at this graph. And I've highlighted 2023. So it's estimated that 447.9 million users from our country will be on social networking sites in the next 2 years. And if you notice, if you see from 2016, from 2016 to 2017, the jump was really a lot. And then of course, the growth has been steady over the years. Has everybody gone through it? Can I move on to the next slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So what is social media? What is it all about? So many people are on social media. All of them access social media portals. What is it actually about? So social media is a computer-based technology that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual networks and communities. Social media platforms are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. In short, social media is an umbrella term that defines various activities that integrate technology, social interaction, and the construction of videos, photos, and audio. Okay, I did say videos, photos, and audio, which does not mean social media is only Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. There's so much more to social media, so much more. Do you want to know how much more you have to social media? Let's find out. So what is social media in true sense? We'll start from the left. Social networking, what we are what we know, what we use every day. Yes, so there's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. All of that comes under social networking. Then blogging, people who have the flair for writing, flair for the language. They don't have to really publish their own website. They can have blogs. And a lot of our country youth are blogging today. So you can use WordPress, you can do Blogspot. Then microblogging, where you have limited characters to convey what you want to convey. Twitter, of course, Pinterest, where you share pictures. Then coming to online ratings, very, very important, something that we go to every day, almost every day. You want to go watch a movie, the first thing we do is we go and check the IMDb rating. You want to go and dine at a restaurant, the first thing we do is we check Zomato for the ratings and the reviews. Only if the restaurant has a good rating is when when we go there. You want to go for a holiday or leisure trip, you first check Trivago or you first check TripAdvisor. Check the reviews and only then you decide if this hotel is the one to choose or the other. So online ratings, very, very important. Even when you choose a college or an institution, that's the first thing people do. Google reviews. Coming to social bookmarking. So there's so much content on the World Wide Web. There's so much content. Sometimes we're browsing through multiple pages and we really want to get back to those pages again or refer to them in the future. How do we save them? Do we copy the URL and post it on a Word format? No. All you need to do is you need to bookmark them. And there are applications that help you do that. So you can always go back and refer to these articles or these pages in the future. Podcasts. There are a lot of people who want to be radio jockeys who can connect with the audience through audio. They don't really have to wait in line these days and apply for a job as a radio jockey or connect with radio channels. They can do it themselves, creating their own shows on podcast. There's Apple Podcasts, there's Google Podcasts, there's so many platforms. Forums, message boards. A lot of times we have a lot of questions in our head. Of course, we go to Google Baba, but there are some questions that we need more answers for, or we need in-depth answers. And these questions we can't really ask our parents or our loved ones, our relatives, or even our friends. What do we do then? There are a lot of forums like Quora, where there are experts who answer your questions. There are people like you and me who answer questions, who've gone through the exact similar phase in life, who've had that question and have gotten an answer, and now they want to help others. So forums and message boards. Then coming to social knowledge. Of course, Wikipedia. Who does not know Wikipedia? All of us get to Wikipedia if we need information and legit information. And we know Wikipedia is never wrong. We trust Wikipedia blindly. Wikipedia Quest, there are multiple applications. Geolocations. Gone are those days when we remember how to get to our friend's house because it's so simple. Put it on Google Maps. Google Maps will guide you. It'll also tell you where there's traffic, which roads to avoid. It'll also tell you what time will you reach, your estimated travel time. You get real-time updates. Isn't that amazing? So you know when to leave for that function. So yes, Google Maps, there are maps and other geolocation apps. Multimedia, something that all of us have used a lot during the lockdown. We didn't have maids, so we went to YouTube to find and look for recipes to cook to fill our stomachs. When we don't know how to pass our time, we go to YouTube. All the best content creators of the country and of the world are content creators on the platform YouTube. And the most content is consumed on that platform. So that's all about social media. And this is social media in a nutshell. Is everybody clear? Are there any questions?
For questions, we'll go at the end, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Okay. So I'll move ahead. So if social media is the most recent tool to tell stories and communicate, right? Isn't that great? That is amazing. So there's so much we have done using social media. We are on social media portals and we have a lot of fun. We connect with a lot of people. Then what's the fuss about? Why do people tell us stay away from social media? You should know where to draw the line. Or please don't overdo it. What is the fuss about? Let's find out. So the youth, you are the most imperative and dynamic fragment of the population. The youth is the hope of our future. And the future of a country lies in the hands of the youth only. And you are the most active demographic on social media. That is why we are concerned. And we are not concerned only because you are the most active demographic. It's also because you're the only ones who don't know the repercussions of overdoing it on social media. You don't know the hidden secrets of social media. You don't know how it's controlling you, your life, and your actions. We will know in a bit how. So this is why the fuss is about. This is why we are very tensed. We are also tensed because 2/3 of the global internet population visits social networks, which means when you create a profile on any social media network, you're making your data available, your pictures available to 2/3 of the global internet population. you can be vulnerable. You can be in that vulnerable spot because so many people have access to your information. Because the time spent on social networks is growing at 3x the overall internet rate, accounting for 10% of internet time. Gone. So it's not your emails that you check. It's not Google. It's social networks that you're checking, and 10%, which is a lot of your internet time, you are using on social media platforms. That is why we are concerned. Okay, do you know? 13 hours is the amount of video uploaded on YouTube every minute. I'm sure you didn't know that. Look at the number. That's the number of videos viewed per day. Okay, fun fact. It'll take us 412 years. 412 years to watch every video uploaded on YouTube. I'm sure you didn't know that. 55 million, that's the number of articles available on Wikipedia. That, of course, I'm sure is believable. 302 million, that's the monthly average users on Twitter. Every second on an average, around 6,000 tweets are tweeted on Twitter, which corresponds to over 350,000 tweets sent per minute, and 500 million tweets per day, and around 200 billion tweets per year, which is a lot. Facebook, most loved, most commonly used. That's the number of minutes spent on Facebook each day. And Facebook is one of the biggest social media platforms with an average user, where an average user spends 38 minutes each day. Now you may be thinking, I don't spend that much time on Facebook. I hardly log on to Facebook. Maybe once every hour for maximum 5 minutes when I'm bored, or maybe once every 2 hours, again for maximum 5 minutes when I'm bored. Do the math. If you sleep for 8 hours, which means you're awake for 16, and you spend 5 minutes every hour on Facebook, you spend 80 minutes a day on Facebook, which is a lot. Okay, let's come to if I spend 5 minutes every 2 hours. That's still 40 minutes on Facebook, which holds true to where an average user spends 38 minutes each day. And that's a lot of time, 40 minutes of productive time. But I'm still not saying Facebook is bad. Okay, fun fact. If Facebook were a country, it would have been the biggest in the world. You believe me? No? Let's see how big are social networking sites. Or how big are social networks? I told you, if Facebook were a country, it would have been the biggest in the world. Here you go. Number of monthly active users compared to country population sizes. Facebook, number 1. Then comes China, then comes India, and then WhatsApp, then Instagram, then the US of A, then Twitter, Snapchat, and then Indonesia. All of this is a lot of information, right? Okay. Why do these portals and networks have so many users? Why do you think so many people use these social media portals? Of course, it's a great way to connect with people. It is the in thing. All my peers are there. All my friends are there. But so many users. And it has become so popular so soon. Unlike any other business model, these guys are doing really well. Why do you think these portals and networks have so many users? I'll tell you why. Because we are an addictive generation. Now, all of you will think, or all of you probably will tell me, I don't think I'm a part of that addictive generation. I'm not addicted to anything. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I'm not addicted to any person. I'm not addicted to anything, even Facebook or Instagram. I think it's wrong to say we are an addictive generation because I'm somebody from the generation and I don't have any addictions. So in that case, let me explain to you with an example. Okay, so imagine you're visiting a casino for the first time with your friends. You're in Goa, it's a leisure trip with your friends, and you'll decide, okay, chalo, let's go to the casino. You're really excited because you've never experienced being in a casino before. You've never really seen a gaming field. You've only seen it in the movies. You're really excited and really want to go there and see how it is like. And yes, since you're excited, you pay, you get into the casino, they give you 2,000 rupee worth chips that you can play on the field, on the gaming field. And then you make a pact with yourself. You say, Natasha, this is the first time I'm visiting a casino. I've got 2,000 rupees to spend. This is all I'm going to spend. I'm only going to spend 2,000 rupees, not a single penny more than this. And Natasha, if we win, it'll be lovely. We'll cover up our entry fee. But if we lose, that's where we stop. We stop at 2,000. Anyway, I've got this free. Let me use this. And then we enter the gaming field. Of course, we don't know anything about casinos because we've never been there. We've gone there for fun for our friends to give them company. We take the first 1 hour to observe what is happening. Of course, we're very inquisitive and we want to know, how do they play blackjack? How does a roulette table work? Oh, there's an American roulette and a Russian roulette. Oh, what is teen patti? We're very inquisitive. We stand behind every table. We watch. We notice how people are playing. How are they betting? We try to understand the game. We ask questions. We get a few answers. We gauge for ourselves. And then after an hour, you realize that, okay, enough. Now it's time to play. Let me take that chance. And then you put that first 1,000 rupee chip that you have. You have two chips worth 1,000 rupees each. You put that first chip and you play your first game. And voila, you won. You won 1,000 rupees, which means you have that 1,000 rupee chip that you put plus you 1,000 rupees more. So now you have 3,000 instead of 2,000. Excellent. Very excited. Now we say, okay, now let me use the second chip. Again, we win. So now where we had 2,000 rupees, we have 4,000 rupees. We are very happy. We think we've aced it and we've understood every strategy. And in our head, we think we are super cool and we are super smart. And then we decide, remember we decided we had a pact. I had a pact with myself that I'm not going to stretch beyond these 2,000 rupees. So I won 4,000. So ideally, I should have encashed the amount and left. But now in my head, I think I know a lot about this game and I'm winning and it's such easy money. Let me do one thing. Let me put 2,000 this time. Let me get 4,000 in return. And then I lose. And I put 2,000 rupees and I lose it. What then? And then I feel, oh, I missed the bullseye. Probably my calculation, my math was not right. Or just bad luck. Don't worry, Natasha. We still have 2,000 more left. Let's put those 2,000 rupees and we'll get 4,000 of that and then let's go. I put 2,000 again. I lose 2,000. What do I do then? I lost again. Again, bad luck here. But I know the game. That's exactly how I won the first 2 times. So I remove my wallet. I go and buy chips worth 2,000 rupees more. And it's a cycle and a vicious one. Was I addicted when I stepped into the casino? I'd never visited a casino before. I didn't even know of the games that they play. But what did I do? I kept going on and on. Also, we are not just an addictive generation. We're also a very, very smart generation. An extremely smart generation. Okay, fun fact. 30% of kids under the age group of 2 know how to operate a smartphone. They can't speak. Most of them cannot, but they can very well operate a smartphone. That's how smart we are. Okay, so social media companies know that y'all are an addictive generation and y'all are a smart generation. So you know what they do? They hire engineers, and not just random engineers, not telecom engineers, not mechanical engineers, not chemical engineers. They hire attention engineers. And do you know what the job of an attention engineer is? An attention engineer works on the same principles that is applied in casinos or in gambling zones. They really work around their applications to make them so addictive as possible. If the principles are borrowed from the casino model, you can imagine how addictive they make their models. So they are playing with you because they know you are an addictive generation and a smart generation. Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. You probably cannot relate as to how attention engineers are getting us addicted to Facebook maybe. Let's talk about Facebook per se. Why do we check Facebook and when do we check Facebook? I check Facebook every morning. You know why? Because Facebook gives me birthday updates. I don't have to keep a track of whose birthday it is today. Facebook tells me A, B, C, D, E are celebrating their birthday today. It's so convenient. All I have to do is send them happy birthday, happy birthday. They are very happy that I remembered their birthday. Did I take the effort? No, Facebook told me. But I go back to Facebook every morning because Facebook tells me birthdays of my friends and of people I'm connected with. Also, every time we go back to Facebook, every time, every hour or once in 2 hours for those 5 minutes, what is the first thing we check? Notifications. Has somebody liked my picture? Has somebody commented on my picture? Oh, this person commented or this person liked, did not love my picture. We go back to check all of this. We also go back to check what Facebook is telling us. So what is Facebook telling us? Facebook tells us, oh, I missed you. If you don't log onto Facebook for over a week, Facebook will tell you, hey, Natasha, I missed you. Even better, Facebook will share a throwback picture with you. This is a picture that you shared 7 years ago. And it does not only share the picture with you. It tells you, share it with your friends. And then I see an old picture of me and my husband, which I clicked 7 years ago on our anniversary, or today is Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day, and I say, oh, it's such a cute picture. I was so slim then. We look so young. Let me share it. And then I click on that share button. And then I share it. And then again, I wait for comments and likes, which appear in the notification. So the next hour, when I go for 5 minutes, I check the comment section, the notifications for comments and likes. It is a vicious cycle. Facebook knows. We're not only talking about Facebook, we're talking about social media applications and portals. They know how to get you hooked. They know you're addictive. You are from the addictive generation who's also smart. So they'll find smart ways to get you addictive. They have your attention already. Okay. Social media and phones release dopamine or dopamine. Do you know what dopamine or dopamine is? It's a chemical that is released when we engage with our phones and social media. It is the same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, when we gamble. It is a fact. It is proven. And that chemical is highly addictive. Surprised? Look it up on Google. Once you're done with this presentation, of course. Okay, moving on to point number 3. We are very vulnerable to social approval. Man is a social animal. We are known to bond socially, but we are very weak and vulnerable when it comes to social approval. We want people to think our life is perfect. I am living the life. I am powerful. We want people to look up to us. And we as a society have set standards for ourselves. And we make the society. So we have set those standards, beauty standards, standards for everything. And we strive so hard to meet those standards. But we want to meet those standards because we want social approval. She's pretty. Oh, she's not healthy. We work so hard and strive so hard for social approval. And we are very vulnerable to social approval, and major chunk of your friends, the people you know, everybody is on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media portals. That's the best way to get maximum approval from society. Moving on to the next point. It is the easiest and most convenient way to distract yourselves. Yes, there's so much content available. In fact, if you go to Facebook for something, like I go to Facebook every day to check whose birthday is it today, I usually end up clicking on multiple posts because it's so addictive. And Facebook makes everything so attractive, it actually distracts the users from the actual original purpose of visit, which is true, right? We see a good picture, we'll say, oh, wow, fantastic. Let us see who she's with. Oh, he's in Maldives. There's so much content and so much different content that it keeps us engaged. And we get diverted from the actual purpose of our visit. Also, it keeps us engaged and distracted. So from our change, so from our regular lives, when we take that 5 minutes break every hour, we want to be distracted. And we're also very inquisitive by nature, human beings. We want to know what's happening in his life, what's happening in her life, most of us at least. So it distracts you. The last and the most important point, it has become a coping mechanism. Most people are so addicted to social media and they're so cut off from the real life that it's become it's become a coping mechanism for them. When significant stress starts to show up, a lot of people don't go to real people or friends or family for help. They in fact go to social media. Oh, I've got a C grade in my last sem. Let me go to Instagram and post a lovely selfie. Let me wear the best dress I have. I'll feel better there. It is my coping mechanism. Or, oh, you know what? I got a D. That's okay. She got an A. She doesn't even have as many shoes as I have, half of as many shoes that I have. Let me post a picture of my wardrobe. That has become a coping mechanism. How is social media affecting you? We are constantly comparing our lives with the lives of others. Constantly. So, fact, nobody on social media, nobody at all shows you the bland, unfiltered, day-to-day normality. Nobody does. I don't do either. Nobody shows you the real life and the real truth. Everybody will post only the most fancy things, the fanciest of pictures in the best background, with a Lamborghini, by the beach, with their friends, having fun. Nobody will tell you the actual truth. And we start comparing our lives with their lives, which are not even real. But suddenly, that becomes the level that we compare ourselves or our lives to. Oh, she's wearing Zara. Oh, how could she afford a Louis Vuitton bag? I want one too. She has such rich parents. How I wish my parents were not middle class. You know what? We don't compare ourselves to people who are lesser privileged than we are, but we always compare ourselves to people who we see on social media, because the lesser privileged, even if they are lesser privileged, they will not tell you that they are on social media. Everybody shows the most fancy part of their lives, which is unreal on social media. And that becomes, our level, or that becomes a level that we want to compare our lives with. So the constant comparing takes a toll on your health, especially your mental health. And that's how it's affecting you. We are judging ourselves. The next point, we are judging ourselves on the basis of what others think of us. We've put a picture. I've put a picture. I think I look amazing. I have flawless skin. Somebody else comments, "Hey, Moti, my morale is kaput." And I feel, oh, I think I really should lose weight. What do I do about this skin? I don't think I'm decent looking also. I think I should take this down. Who are they to judge you? And who are you to judge yourselves on the basis of what they think of you? You are you. Do you even know that person? Most of our friends or most of our connections on social media are not people who we know. At least for most people, that's true. We have a lot of friends who are not really our friends in real life. They don't know the true me. They don't know the true you. How can they judge you? Probably you have a heart of gold. Probably you're the only one who in your entire friend circle who helps people. You're the one who's the smartest, who people look up to. You can't judge yourself on the basis of what others think of you and on the basis of one photograph, one post. No. Oh my God, this picture that I uploaded got 140 likes and 24 comments. I think I should stand for the General Secretary elections. Or, so you decide if you can stand, if you're popular, on the basis of how many likes and how many comments you've got. Or it can work the other way around. She has more friends on social media and she has more likes and comments on every picture, much more than me. She's also standing for election. I think I should withdraw my candidacy because I don't think I will make it. She's so much popular. Who are these people who are liking and commenting? They don't want to see a pretty face. Probably they want to see somebody who can shoulder the responsibilities of a general secretary. So we judge ourselves on the basis of what others think of us on social media, which again is taking a toll on your mental health. Coming to the next point. We are assessing our self-worth on the basis of what value others are attributing to us. The number of followers you have, or the number of times you've been featured as a top post, or the number of times you've been featured on maybe a page that is very popular. That is how you assess your self-worth. I was on the top post today. I used this hashtag and I was one of the top 10 posts today. I'm so good. कुछ तो है मेरे में. Itana like. That's not how you assess your worth. You should assess your worth on the basis of the actual merits and accolades you've received in real life. What about that time when you won the 100-meter race and you felt so proud? Your parents were there, they felt so proud. You were grinning from one end to the other when your principal, put that medal on you. Now, it's all about how many comments, how many likes, how many followers, how many friends. And if you have to actually call these friends, they're not even friends. They're not the friends you can call and discuss your problems with. Or you spend your happy times, or spend happy times with. So don't assess your self-worth on the basis of what, on the basis of what value others are attributing to you. That is not actual value. How many likes? That is not social currency. That is not value. Next, and very important, FOMO. All of us who are active on social media know what this means. Fear of missing out. It's the fear of missing out because most of our friends are on social media. So if you are not, you're like the odd man out. When your friends come to you with gossip and they say, hey, you know, this one went to Maldives. Hey, you know, this one is dating this one. Hey, you know, this one has learned to play the guitar and he plays so well. And you're like, no, I don't know. And you're like, kya yaar? You're not on Instagram, kya? Kya karta hai? Dude, that's what happens, right? And then we feel left out. And then we feel, oh, dude, everybody is connected. Everybody is updated. I should also be updated and connected if I want to fit in. I don't want somebody to tell me, grow up, dude. Or bro, be a little more cool. We think they will judge me. I will be an outcast. I will be the odd man out. Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out on a potential connection, an event, an opportunity, anything. But fear of missing out is affecting you and your mental health. Now, last point, we are ruining our vocabulary. As a teacher, that's my major concern. When children write to me or when children, text me, BUT, but has become BT. Great, GREAT has become G8. And AND has become N. Fine, FINE has become F9. And because you're using this kind of, you're using this on an everyday basis, you forget English. So you're ruining your vocabulary. So when you actually enter the professional world, you'll be lost. Because your body gets trained, you get trained to something. You're accustomed to F9 for so many years that FINE will not come to you. You'll have to work really hard on getting back to where you started. So we are ruining our vocabulary, which is not a good thing at all. We don't use full stops, we don't use commas because they're not used in the social media world. So we don't know intonation. We don't know our punctuation. Okay, there's more. How is social media affecting you? Some more points. You are pushed to project an image of glamour always. Okay, so you want to be at power with everybody else? Everybody else, like I told you, and like you already know, of course, only showcases their best photo. And you want to be like them. You want to be with them. So you wear your best clothes at all times. Your hair is done up perfectly fine, perfect manicure, set hair at all times. You want to have the best pictures. You want to have the best experience. But that is not you in true sense. That's not how you live your life in the real world, right? But that's not how you live is not what you're projecting to people. You are always projecting an image of glamour. And your life isn't that glamorous. So we are pushed to project an image of glamour always, which takes a toll on our mental health. The next point is you change your lifestyle just to impress your virtual connections. That's so true in today's world. We see social media influencers holidaying in the Taj and in Oberoi, in a hotel room at a Le Méridien or a Hyatt, and we feel, oh my God, when I take my next vacation, I will beg, borrow, I'll do whatever, but I want to live in one 5-star property at least for one day and do like a room tour and click pictures and tag Taj. Utna to I will do. Even though you can't afford and you've never lived in a 5-star all your life, like most middle class people do. They've never lived in like most middle class people. We don't, when we go for even for a leisure trip, we live in a decent hotel. But you will do that. You will cut down your vacation time to 1 day instead of 10 days, but you will spend that 10 days worth money for a one-day trip at the Taj only for pictures. You are changing your lifestyle to impress your virtual connections. That is absolutely wrong. You will not be in a position to continue that and to maintain it. For how long will you stretch? For how long will you pretend to be somebody who you're not? It's difficult to go on for really long that way. You can't live a dual life. We forget reality. When we go to a beach to watch the sunset, we're actually not watching the sunset. The first thing we do is we take out our mobile phones. Or what a view. I'll take a time-lapse video. I'll take a picture. This picture does not come out really well. Click me from this angle. Click me from that angle. Even your partner who's gone with you, your friend who's gone with you is busy clicking pictures of you. And then you are clicking pictures of him or her. And what happens? You've missed the actual moment. You've missed watching the sunset. Of course, you have it on your phone to show it to others. But have you enjoyed it? Have you enjoyed that moment? No. Your friend's getting married. You should be there enjoying the moment when they say I do, when they're walking down the aisle. But what are you doing? You've removed your phone and you're following them, clicking a video to put it up on social media so you can tag them, happy married life. Enjoy the moment. We've forgotten reality. We don't live in reality. And that's not how it's supposed to be. The next point is we are trapped in the number game. We certainly are. We are trapped in the number game. We want more likes, we want more views, we want more followers, we want more friends. It's all about the number. Oh my God, do you know she has 25,000 followers? I have only 2,000. Then what we think is, oh, I know somebody who can where I can buy followers from. Then we get into that trap. It is a number game, and they are trapping you in this number game. Do you as a person change if you have 25,000 followers or 15,000 followers? Okay, if you're a social media influencer and that's your only source of earning bread and butter, it's a different thing altogether. But if not, why should the numbers even matter? The next point, boost of self-worth comes from likes and not real achievements. Remember what I told you about the race, the 100-meter race? Or if you won a scholarship in college, or if you've been elected as a general secretary, those are the achievements that should boost your self-worth. You've done well in your exam. You've been a good kid. You took great care of your grandparents when they were in town. These things that matter should boost your self-worth. And the boost of your self-worth should not come from likes. Those are fake achievements. Those are not even achievements. A lot of you change as a person. Coming back to you change your lifestyle just to impress your virtual connections. A lot of you change your lifestyle. A lot of you who don't drink go to clubs because you know that my friends who click pictures at clubs get maximum likes. You will do the cheers post and take a sip of beer, although you've never tasted beer in the past, just to come across as cool. So we value ourselves and we get a boost of self-worth from likes and not real achievements. And these are all taking a toll on your mental health, and you don't know it already. You're in that web. And when you realize, it's going to be too late. The next point. You forget to value yourself and rely on social media portals to make you feel good. That feel-good factor, that should come from a pat on your back by your parents, by somebody who you look up to. When Father John comes to me and says, "Oh, good job, Natasha," I feel so happy. He's my mentor. He's somebody I really look up to. So that should make you feel good. These things, these real moments should make you feel good. Not social media portals, not the likes, comments, not all of that. We forget how to feel in real life. We've forgotten how to feel in real life. Those feelings don't matter anymore. And that is wrong. When you're in a vulnerable situation, only real people will come to your rescue. It's not people who are your connections on virtual media. Last but not the least, you waste your productive time watching what is going on in other people's lives. Or maybe you like it. Maybe 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day is a lot of time. There's so much you can do in that time. You can be so productive. With the human resource capital of the world, we're the youngest country in the world. You are going to take our country, our community places. So use that time productively. Use that time productively on social media portals or on social media. Watch educational videos on YouTube. Go to Wikipedia. Write down words that you don't know meanings of, that you've heard in your day-to-day conversations. Look them up on Google. Learn those words. There's so much you can do. Don't waste your productive time doing things that are not needed. Of course, it is entertaining. You do it for a certain amount of time, but don't stretch it. Because there is a direct link between the time you consume yourself on social media and how it influences your mental health. It leads to depression, anxiety, and a lot of other things. I'll come to that too. Negative effects of social media. Peer pressure, low self-esteem, mental ill health. Again, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, eating concerns, suicide risks. There's so much. Okay, just check the time. It's 7:30. Brother Joshua, do you want me to continue for another 10 minutes?
You can 5 minutes, because then we'll.
So I'll rush through this. I'll rush through this then. I won't explain everything in detail. I'll just rush through it. Okay, so Indian woman kills herself over WhatsApp bullying. False social media post. That's BBC News 9 Jan. Class 12 boy commits suicide because somebody wrote something wrong about him on social media. A teenager, 17-year-old, found hanging because a morphed photo was uploaded on social media. Girl dies by suicide after objectionable snaps were posted on social media. As recent as November 2020, December 2020. Remember the Blue Whale Challenge? How many cases? Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Kerala. How many cases? Gujarat. Dangers of social media, very, very important. Invasion of privacy. Do you all know Google knows where you go? Google knows what you do. Google knows what you speak at home. Google also knows which restaurant do you dine in and how many times do you dine there. Google has access to your emails. Google knows how much money you spend on your credit card every month. Google also knows what you eat, what you order from Swiggy and Zomato, because everything is linked to your email. Your credit card bills, your account statements, your Swiggy invoices, your Zomato invoices. You use Google Maps to travel to places, and you have Google Home at home or Alexa. Do you think Alexa and Google Home only listen to you when you say, "Hey Google"? They listen to you when they feel like. They have absolute access to your life, and that is invasion of privacy. Mark Zuckerberg and of course Sundar Pichai, both of them have confessed to senators that they know exactly what you're doing, and they sell your data. Everything that they know of you is sold to brands, and that's how they make money. You have limited or no security. Somebody sitting in some corner of the world can morph your pictures and put them up and tag you and blackmail you. It's going to be so difficult for you to nab them, trace them. Extremely difficult. If somebody physically comes and assaults you, you know who that person is, you can take him to the cops. How do you deal with this? There's very little that cyber cops can do too. Now your purchasing decisions are also influenced. If you look for a blue kurta, every ad you'll see on social media or on Google will only be of apparel brands. They'll show you kurtas. They sell your data and then they sell it to brands who advertise. You are hooked, you are hacked, and you are hijacked. And you don't know it already. But what next? How can we fix it? We've recognized the problems. That's the first step at fixing it. All you need to do is filter the bad out. What do you think is bad for you? Hate comments, filter it out. Don't let yourself participate in the passive and aggressive status war. It is a status war. Ignore. You be you. Don't show the world what you're not. They don't want to see what you're not. They will start appreciating you for showing the real you. And make the change. When you make that change, others will also look at you and make that change. And be the change. You don't post hate comments. Remember the 2-year-olds who know to operate a smartphone? They are the next generation. They're going to be in this World Wide Web, in this web of social media soon. Make social media a better place for them. So, okay, I'll just run you through this. COVID-19 was the game changer. When we were sitting at home, we got, social media became our window to the world. We witnessed digital transformation because we worked from home, we studied from home, our classes happened online. Our world today is undeniably digital, which is a great thing. We are moving towards being a developed country. And digitalization of rural India is now a reality, which was a dream once, because students have been given free phones, because their classes happened online, and so much more. Now, social media networks are not that bad. Social media isn't that bad. There's great connectivity. You can connect with your friends from school who are in any part of the world. It's a great stage to express your inner talents and unleash your potential. A lot of us might not be confident enough to step up on stage and speak in front of 100 people. But if you're good at poetry, you can write poetry and share that post on social media. It has revolutionized the speed of the news cycle. Earlier, we used to wait for one full day to get the newspaper in the morning. Magazines would come once a week, twice a week. Now we get news in seconds, thanks to notifications and the World Wide Web. And social media, of course. You can self-educate yourselves. We learned recipes on YouTube, meanings of words that we didn't know. So it is a good thing. It also spreads social awareness. You can reach multiple people, so many people that you can't reach physically through social media. And it helps you be in touch with the world. It's making the world a smaller place. So social media is not bad. You just need to know how to use it well and to your advantage. So use social media, but you should know where to draw the line. I'm sorry I took a little more time than I was supposed to.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am. Thank you. So I would like to actually confess one thing. The talk of yours kind of pricked my own conscience in some ways, and I kind of felt, oh yeah, maybe, yeah, that's true what ma'am is telling. But we are all going through that struggle, of trying to avoid social media, but also use it in a good manner. Okay, we'll move on to our second segment. We have Brother Newton, who will be moderating our question answers session, and he has already a few questions with him from the audience over here. So, Brother Newton.
Yes, I hope you can hear me, Brother Joshua.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Beautiful input, and I am sure that everybody is benefited from your presentation. Okay, we have Miss Rebecca, who is one of the participants. She wants to know from you, how do we overcome the fear of being an odd one in our friends when we really don't have a social media account or even self-owned smartphone? How do we overcome that fear?
Okay, thank you for the question, Rebecca. I know it's difficult, especially when most of your friends are on social media and you don't, you're not. But you know what? You tell them how you used your time productively. Tell them, bhai, pata hai, I learned the guitar and I can play it beautifully. That is what I did when you were looking up what other people are doing in their lives. So I'm using my time wisely. You don't bother about me. Also, I can get all the gossip from you later. So why should I waste my productive time? You're such a good friend. Please fill me in as to what happened on social media. Give it back to them nicely and subtly. They should know what they are missing out. They should know you are using your time productively.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. The next question is the participant does not want to reveal the identity, but poses that the addiction to social media, which can be one of the best example of neuroplasticity, habits or attitudes become part of thinking and doing. Is it possible to cope with the social media? Can we overcome this silly but dangerous addiction? Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, we can if we channelize our energy in the right way. Social media is a great tool, but you should choose which platform on social media you should spend your time at. Restrict your time. So what you need to do is you need to tell yourself 15 minutes in the day. Or if you think you're really an addict, half hour a day. Time it and give it only half hour to Facebook or only half hour to Instagram. You can log out of the application. The first step is you taking that first step. So you take that onus and do it for yourself. You know it's bad, so don't choose that. Choose what is good for you. Take small steps, baby steps, but you will head in the right direction.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, even after having so many friends on social media, why do I feel lonely?
Because it's not the real world that we're connected with. That is exactly what I was trying to convey. These are not your friends. These are only your social media connections. Build real relationships, sweetheart. Tomorrow, when you're lonely, or now that you're lonely, you should have at least 2 people who you can call and say, I'm feeling low, please talk to me. It can be anybody, but build real relationships. Spend time with these real people and not with them or not with other people on social media. Those people don't exist. They are not your friends. It's only the term friends that is used for them. You are lonely because you don't give your real people, your family. You don't have to look anywhere else. Your mother who gave birth to you, who brought you to this life, she can be your best friend. Give her time. Your daddy, your siblings, your cousins, can be anybody if you don't have friends. You are lonely because you don't give your real connections time. So get the time off social media and make actual friends.
Thank you, ma'am. The last question from the participants is that, have our attention spans reduced because of social media? So the question comes is that our attention is now low, slowly, we are not having that long, prolonged attention, but could be the social media the cause of it? Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, we live in a very dynamic world. Everything is rapidly changing. And we are a distracted generation also. We want everything quickly. Okay? Remove the calculator, I'll do the math. We don't want to actually sit and think. 2 plus 2 is 4. Calculator hai na, nikalo. We want everything in a jiffy, everything fast. Our attention span has reduced. And also because, see, if you look at Instagram as an example, what is a hit on Instagram? Stories that disappear in 30 seconds or in 10 seconds. And all stories disappear in 24 hours. Stories that keep moving in 30 seconds. So they know your attention span is only 15 seconds or only 20 seconds or only 30 seconds. They don't want to show you more of it. And because you're so used to watching this and the change is happening so fast, that is how you've tuned your brain. It is going to be difficult. These are all the small things that they are playing with. And that is exactly why they have your attention, but they're ruining it for you. Tomorrow, when you have a 3-hour exam to give, when you have an exam which is so crucial for you, for your career, you will not be in a position to concentrate because you're so used to seeing everything only for 20 seconds and then it passes. So focus on things, read articles, do what can absorb you for a longer time. If you think your attention span has reduced, do something that you can continue for a longer time. Read stories, buy a book, go back to it every night before you go to bed. Read for half hour. You'll have to take steps towards working your attention span, but yes, social media has definitely affected us, the span.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Over to Brother Joshua.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Brother
Newton. Thank you, Newton, for those moderating this particular session. And thanks to all the participants who paid focused attention on this talk, which is beneficial for them. And thank you, ma'am, once again. Now over to our very own dear Father John, the director of XI, who wants to speak a few words to all the students out here.
Thank you, Joshua, for a wonderful introduction and also organizing the whole thing. And my heartfelt gratitude to Natasha for taking it up. I know it all began about 15 days ago and back and forth, and Joshua and Natasha communicated, and it has come to a reality. Now, to tell more about Natasha, Natasha is having Indian school media at Xavier's Mahim. At Xavier's Mahim, you all should know that she has earned her name. ISM has earned a name in the city, and many students, even at one time, even 10 or 20 students used to come to our campus. We asked them, where are you going? He said, we're going to Xavier's, going to Indian school media. So it is a synonymous. If you say go to Indian school media or go to Xavier's, it's the same. And Natasha has got a great talent to she's always with the youth, so she knows all the shortcuts of the names and the code language. So she was the best person to address this issue to us, and it has been also really beneficial for us, you scholastics, get into this kind of thing and where we are and how to make the best use of these facilities. So thank you once again, Natasha, for giving your precious time, and you have been very, I must say, you made me very generous and also very cooperative. Natasha has also got an MOU or an understanding with the university in Paris to run these classes for the master's program. So I would say, if any scholastic is interested in doing in media education, our institute may sponsor one scholastic to join ISM. Of course, we have XIC, but I think soon XIC will be overpowered by ISM, and we would like to sponsor one scholastic, and that scholastic can go to Paris for Datas is for 6 months or 1 year. Then in Paris, 4 months.
4 months. 4 months.
4 months. So go to 4 months, and we would be very happy. Those who are interested. It is important that scholastics should be well equipped in this. And we are one of the great beneficiaries of the social media. I use all the time to spread my message, my what I want to say, and we have done a lot. We have done a lot, and Joshua has been witnessing to what I am saying, especially during the lockdown period. We have conducted more than 40 workshops, which no college, no engineering college conducted in Bombay. So it's all because of social media, and it's a really power. It has got it's a powerful medium to communicate. If you say the emails and other things, it doesn't work. But if you spread it in the WhatsApp, in the next hour it goes to Afghanistan. Somebody enrolls in your program. So that is the power it has got. So thank you so much for all the participants for taking care. I would have been happy to keep it open for 500 participants, which we have an account. Next time, please ask Joshua. He has got an account for accommodate 500 participants. And thank you so much getting connected to ISM and Xavier's Mahim. Jai Hind.
Thank you,
Thank
Father.
you.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah.
We will now
Sure.
come to the end of our webinar. I will request Brother Richard to propose the vote of thanks.
Very good evening to one and all. It's very good to have you all during this very special day, that is Valentine's Day. It is Mrs. Natasha, she already said that it is not your likes, not your comments will be with you, but your dear and near ones. Indeed, we are benefited from this webinar, and we know the importance of social media and how it significant in our lives too. Here am I, Richard Pinto, to say a few words of gratitude. First and foremost, we thank the Almighty for blessing us with all the good things today, especially for having this beautiful webinar with all the good things. So we thank the Almighty for success of this webinar. Secondly, we are grateful to our great speaker, and we are all heard from her the importance, the social media and me. That is none other than Mrs. Natasha Arana. She's already, we know, she's a founder and the director of Indian School of Media. And she's well versed with social media. And today's webinar is really very significant for all of us, especially for all the youth and all the participants here. And she focused how important the social media in our day-to-day life. And it is a vicious cycle. Indeed, it comes and hits back if you don't use it in a proper way. So we are grateful to Mrs. Natasha for your wonderful talk, and it has benefited us a lot. And in our day-to-day life, it will help as we go ahead. Thirdly, we are grateful to Dr. John Rose, SJ, is here with us, Director of Xavier Institute of Engineering. Thank you very much, Father, for your availability, for your all the support and encouragement, especially for Scholastic and all the youth. And also we are grateful to the management of Xavier's Institute of Engineering, especially Scholastic Joshua D'Souza is being here organizing this webinar, taking lots of time and efforts in spite of his busy schedule. We are also grateful to Jesuit Conference of South Asia, giving us this platform, giving us this Zoom link, as well as the live in YouTube channel as well. There are so many are watching in YouTube as well. So we are grateful to the CDO, that is CG Chako, the Director of Communication, is been with us, helping us and guiding and encouraging us in this digital Jesuit ministry. We are also thankful and grateful to all the participants. There are more than 100 participants participated in this webinar, as well as in the YouTube viewers. I'm sure all of us benefited a lot from today's talk, that is social media and me. And we are grateful to Joshua D'Souza and also the Newton moderating the session questionnaires. So we are grateful to you all for this wonderful organizing. And at last, we the Digital Jesuits thank one and all for giving your very invaluable time to be with us during this evening that are so special Valentine's Day. I'm sure all of us have got something to carry with us to follow in our day-to-day life, because as we talk about social media, it is a very important area to focus on. And thank you all for being with us and in this now. So thank you. Have a nice day. Good night to you all.
Thank you,
Good
Richard.
night.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Father. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful, wonderful event. Good night, everyone,
Good
and
night.
God bless.
Good
By
night.
the way, Joshua is an adjunct professor at Xavier Institute of Engineering. So he teaches a disaster management and also environmental engineering. So, and he's a mechanical engineer by in the undergrad degree, and also he has done MBA in blocks. What is chain? What is
Supply chain management.
Supply chain
supply
management.
chain management? Not a blockchain. That's how supply chain. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you all. Thank you
Good
all.
night,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.